Hello and welcome to round 11 and the penultimate round of the Apex Racing League GT3 trophy. Live today from Suzuka on iRacing. I'm Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick joining me in the studio as always, but last week, Manicore. I mean, as lovely it was to have Jamie sat there, you missed an absolute cracker, to be fair.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. However, life is as it is. I was able to watch the race back, however, watched a little bit of it live, and yeah, it was pretty action-packed, and it's clearly the driver's still getting used to Manicore as well. We saw a fair few incidents, particularly that final chicane, really causing issues for the drivers. It was quite unusual to see a single file start to the race as well because of the narrowness of that chicane. Yeah, I think you went over a few of the other details of I
picked out some of the key moments. Going to take a quick look at that right now, and yeah, so go through those. Well, of course, the 1 hour race format last week, and got away relatively calm, except for Piazzese, who decided to make it too wide coming out the final corner. He was exited stage right, well down from the pack. It wasn't going to be the Italians' night, and that really set the bill. People falling off track. We're just going to see right now Martinson. This is him taking the lead halfway through. Well, he's attempting to. Didn't quite get it done, but then pulled this little beauty out of the bag. Up the inside, a really unconventional passing place, but got it done to great effect of the Swede. Now, he fell away just as the race progressed, and it sort of calmed down a bit, but Will Dames, he said, well, if there's anything you can do, I can do it better. 2 for 1 into the hairpin. That's what I'm talking about for this beauty of Martinson into turn 1. Full commitment from the Brit up the inside. Great move from him. Now it's sort of quieting down from there, but Arvidsson, he was struggling with his tyres. He was telling his pros race, didn't take them at the pit stop, and Drysdale was catching him. He was catching him in pole ultimate lap. Drysdale forced to the wide of the outside into the hairpin. Doesn't get the move done, looks for the switchback. Arvidsson clever, just checked up that little bit, and then it came down to the final lap, all or nothing. Arvidsson broke a bit earlier, Drysdale was telling us in the post-race interviews, and well, he just tagged him on the apex there. Racing instant, should he have had his nose there? We'll let you decide on that one, but to be fair to the American, didn't want to win the race that way, slowed up, allowed Arvidsson to come back past him so he could take victory. The winner in Pro-Am, that was Drysdale, needless to say. Well, what can we say about this guy here? Jeremy De Boiver. He is absolutely smashing it in Am. Another victory for him at Manicore. Let's see what happens this week. Well, tonight, of course, we are from Suzuka, Japan, the land of the rising sun, and we are on the B format, which means we've got the 2 races tonight, haven't we, Sam? Qualifying set in the grid, which is not far away from commencing right now. It's going to set the grid for race 1. Race 2, top 10 inverted from results of race 1 to form up the grid. Obviously everyone else, you know, starting from their finishing positions, and well, it's been a bit interesting when we've had the B format this season, the 2 race format.
It has been.
To say the least.
Yeah, Oscar Pai has been sort of the man to beat when it comes to the race 1s. In the 4 times we've run the format, I think he's won 3 occasions,
yes.
The race 1s. Well, Dames was the king of the race 2s. He actually won the first 2. However, Mitchell Drysdale was able to get the 3rd. And then, of course, last time we had it, we had Isaac Arvidsson winning race 1 and Tobias Olsson winning race 2. No Oscar Pai tonight, and no Mitchell Drysdale either. So that's 2 of our winners so far this season out of the question. So it opens up possibilities for other drivers to take a race winner. I think honestly tonight I would be surprised if we don't see a first time race winner. Fulini, Chicoli, maybe Lang. I think arguably they're the 3 favourites.
Let's talk about Paul Lang. How has he not won a race this season, Sam? How?
It's pretty good. Of course, he was leading with half a lap to go at Spa, wasn't he? And then he let his teammate pass Schwartz, and we thought that would be the first of many race victories for those 2. They haven't won since, and that was back in October. Yeah, really wanted to come back, those 2. Just a few stats. I mean, Pai with 6 race wins so far, Arvidsson with 2, Dames with 3, and then Schwartz, Olsson and Drysdale each with 1 apiece. But like I said, the likes of Chicoli, who's up in 3rd position, I believe, in the championship at 4th position. Yeah. Schwartz is up in 3rd position. Lang is up in 5th, and then Fulini in 6th. None of them have won a race. One of them is definitely going to win a race tonight.
That's your top tip. Who's it gonna be? Love to know your thoughts at home in the chat as always, but bold predictions from yourself. Getting more stuck into tonight, though. Should we go through the track? Let's talk about, obviously, you can see some lovely scenic shots on the screens behind us right now, but it's your favourite track, this, isn't it, Suzuka?
It's objectively the best circuit ever. When you know what a good circuit is, as our producer has just agreed with me there, every corner you can't improve on. Every corner is perfect at Suzuka. You cannot improve on a single one of them. It's challenging, where you got the S's, where you got to have great rhythm. You got the Degners as well, where you got to thread the needle, the braking into the hairpin, the spoon. Not necessarily the most enjoyable to drive, but again a massive challenge for the drivers, and even 130R and the Castillo Triangle as well. But then it's also a fantastic race circuit as well. The fact that it's old school and yet it's appropriate for modern racing. The fact that you got gravel and grass. The fact that it's just a figure of 8 as well, which is a cool thing. The fact that the straights are constantly curving around the landscape. It's the best circuit in the world, and no one really comes close.
Silverstone? Spa?
No. Spa maybe is in the top 5. I mean, let us know in the chat what you think is the best circuit. But yeah, if it's not this place, Spa or maybe Road America, then you should get it uptown, maybe.
Well, no, definitely no, it's not Daytona. I know how much you detest that place, that circuit. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that one, and let's take a look at the championship standings. You've alluded, obviously, a bit to Pro, but this is how they're currently lining up. Obviously, Oscar Pike leading the way at the moment. Schwartz into second. Tricoli third right now. I mean, Isaac Arvidsson, Tobias Olsen, they were bossing this one early on, Sam, and, well, honestly, Isaac Arvidsson is the closest one there, and he's in 6th. Yeah,
because in a good run of form, though, Isaacson, with 2 race wins in the last 2 race meetings. But yeah, because he missed a few rounds in the middle part of the season, he took a car change. Well, he actually took 2 car changes. He got a free car change, and then he took his penalised car change, which didn't exactly help him either. And of course, also missing a few rounds, having a car change as well. Indianapolis, must I say more? So that's why they're a bit further down. But interestingly, Pye's not here tonight either, and so it's going to bring the championship back close again, and we could well see Schwartz get himself into play. Really, Schwartz, Tricoli, Lang and Fulini all have a chance, but they need to have a stellar round tonight, and they need to have a stellar Sebring. And of course, Mitchell Drysdale, who is at the top of the Pro-Am Championship, he is 2nd place in the overall championship, and he's not here either tonight. So interestingly, going into the final round, we already know what Pye's and Drysdale points are going to be, and it's only going to be 10 points between them.
You say, yeah, because obviously we're taking drop weeks into account. Let's talk about Pro-Am and Mitchell Drysdale. Essentially, Mitchell Drysdale class, realistically, is that even though he's not here, he's going to bank 70 points from this sum, because of the way the drop scores work.
Yeah, because he's currently dropping, so you get 2 drop scores in the series, and so one of the rounds he's currently dropping, he'll get the points from that round.
So he's obviously losing his 2 worst performances. This now becomes his, well, tonight obviously not being here, 0 point score becomes one of his worst performances. Well, effectively joint, because the other one was a 0 as well, meaning that one of those worst performances that was 70 points now goes back into his points total.
Exactly.
So without even turning up, he just, well, he grows his lead even further, realistically.
Exactly, and so we know that he's going to be on 958 points going into the next round. Pye will be on 949 points, and they're almost certainly going to be top 2 in the championship. Pye's also going to have a pit lane start to serve as well at Sebring. So, I mean, tonight's going to be exciting, but honestly, we're going to have guaranteed a title fight next time out, regardless of the results tonight. And we just hope that the likes of Tricoli and Fulini and Schwartz can have a good battle, because potentially we could have 3 or 4 drivers with a very strong chance at the title going into the final round.
That's just in Pro, let alone the overall one. With Drysdale can easily put the cat amongst the pigeons. Let's talk about ARMS. ARMS by name, certainly not by nature, because I had a little sneak peek into the practice server, Sam, before we joined. And, well, our championship leader was currently sitting 8th overall in the practice times, and was around 3 tenths clear of the car positioned in 9th. And the cars only in front of him were just pros. Salvatore Piazzese being the man in question.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of a
It's all or nothing.
Yeah, like really strong at the start of the season, and really at the start of the season I remember we were talking about 10 drivers potentially being in play. Piazzese was the only one who was able to get any consistency. Jeremy De Boyver missed the first 4 rounds and has been consistently the fastest amateur driver ever since then. Realistically, Piazzese, he's got some drop scores as well on his side. I mean, he's got
Did you just say the fastest amateur driver ever?
I'm not sure what I said.
Well, I was going to say, if you did, that's a big, bold claim,
He's been
Sam.
very quick, at least. He's been racking in the points as De Boyver. However, Piazzese is still with a strong lead. 90 points cleared him. I think he should be all right. And yeah, hopefully we can see him get a top 10. I don't think he's got an overall top 10 so far this season, Piazzese,
No.
even though he feels like he should have done.
He should have done it at Monza, where he was running 8th.
Yeah.
And then had a bit of an incident down at Parabolica. Wasn't really any fault of his own. Got collected up in that. I want to say that was Schwartz, I think, from memory. I can't hold me wrong. It wasn't the best meeting for Race Anywhere. They really struggled that round. But yeah, fell out, and I think he ended up finishing something like about 16th in the end. And that was going to be, up until that point, that was the underdog performance of the season until Mitchell Drysdale blew that one out of the water with a Pro-Am win overall at Brands Hatch. And of course, that was the 2-race format back then, wasn't it, of Brands Hatch? So
Yeah.
always good, always good. Let's take a look at teams championships. Well, Race Anywhere, that by name, anywhere they can race for certain, because they are leading the way right now. And I mean, yes, they're catchable, but it's going to be a struggle, Sam.
Yeah,
80k, they've really come on. And Sim Race Sweden Esports, who dominated early on, as you mentioned, they had a few drop rounds in the middle, but ever since then, they've just not recovered, despite Arvidsson's return to form.
Yeah, and Olsen as well, of course, has been coming back to form as well. I mean, it would be impressive if they could get second place, because I think they fell as far back as 5th at one point. And they've also had 150 points worth of penalties, because all 3 of their drivers, Martinson, Olsen and Arvidsson, have all taken a car change. Like I said earlier on, 2 car changes, one of them was a 3-car change, but that's 150 points down the drain. So otherwise they would be in second place right now in that championship. I think Race Anywhere actually have got it mathematically sorted out. It's about 200 points you can score maximum for each round. So yeah, like you said, I guess it is still catchable, but Race Anywhere should be pretty much sorted at the top of that one, but will be a very close fight for second place.
That's going to be fascinating to see how that one pans out between them. And I mean, going back to tonight, where are the overtaking opportunities? Where are we going to see the action, Sam?
I think there's going to be a few kind of surprise moves in there. I think Casio Triangle, where we're currently just seeing one of the Race Anywhere drivers negotiate, going to have an opportunity into there. Of course, turn 1 will be a chance of it, not much of a braking zone. Maybe the hairpin. We don't actually see many moves in the sim racing world at the hairpin, which you'd think it'd be the other way around. In real life, you think you see a fair few, but in the sim racing world, you see very few. Maybe a few more into spoon, perhaps, because you can get the draft around that part of the circuit. But yeah, there's not really any easy overtaking opportunities because of the lack of braking zones into turn 1, and everywhere else is just very narrow. So it won't be easy come race 2 for the drivers to necessarily get through there, especially compared to maybe Road Atlanta, which we visited a few weeks back.
Would you? Maybe get words out in a second. Weren't able to potentially make overtakes around there, only the one place, as you mentioned, down into the best chicane in the world, I do believe you coined that one.
If Suzuka had the Road Atlanta chicane, then we may as well just not go to other circuits, I think, at that point. I mean, like, that would be
better than Silverstone?
What, the Silverstone chicane?
Or just Silverstone in general?
No, Silverstone's not that great, Tim. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Better than Spa?
No, yeah. Well, it's already better than Spa, Suzuka. So, I mean, it's just adding to it even more with that addition of the Road Atlanta chicane. So, no, it's fantastic. Very pleased to be at this circuit, and yeah, I think qualifying. It's
not far away, is it? Yeah, we'll head across that shortly. But need to mention, Sam, and especially as we can. I'm sure we had a Porsche behind us 2 seconds ago. That would have been a lovely segue. But we've got 2 new championships coming, haven't we? Very, very soon. Porsche Cup.
Porsche Cup.
And something a little bit ahead of the game.
Entry's not currently open yet for our other championship, the Clio Cup, which both will be from the studio in, well, the Porsche Cup will be starting in 2 weeks, Clear Cup in 3 weeks' time. We'll be very happy to be back on the sofas with that slightly different format. Still entries open for our Porsche Cup Championship, also entries open for our F4 Championship, which starts just tomorrow. Currently a practice session going on in that one, so you can sign up for either of them. Yeah, the Clios is going to be absolutely mega, Tim. 7 rounds and got a little bit of a unique format. So keep an eye out on our Discord. There's a link to that in the description below, and check out the Apex Racing League social medias as well, where we post highlight videos of each of our events, and also little clips as well of antics going on out on for the streams.
Definitely. Well, as you mentioned, qualifying underway. Should we go quick ad break?
Yeah, let's check it out.
No worries. Well, we'll see you shortly on the other side.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Welcome back, as we are trackside here in Japan at Suzuka. Qualifying just getting underway, drivers on their out laps. Sam, prediction time. Who are we going to see be the cream, rise to the top? Who's going to take pole here at your favourite circuit in the whole wide world?
I'm quite excited, and everyone who's watched the series knows that before round one, I said the champion for this season would be Mr. Matteo Fulini. And Fulini, if it weren't for a couple of mistakes in the race ones in the previous V format, so you would have probably won a race by now and would be right in the championship fray. However, he's coming on strong at the penultimate round of the championship. He is currently, well, in practice, he was the fastest driver by 0.3 of a second. So I think he's got to be the favourite out there. Looking very strong at the moment. He's never won a race. He finished, I think, 3rd in our GTE Championship a couple of years ago in a very strong field, never won a race. And of course, he's up there in about 5th place at the moment in this championship, has never won a race. He's probably the greatest Apex Racing League driver ever not to win a race. And I think he might be breaking a duck tonight.
Wow. Well, that's a big old claim there, Sam, but sometimes starting to come in as people starting to cross the line for the first time and get their first flying lap times in. And right now, we are looking like, well, Utorta's got a cracking lap from him. He's got provisional pole. Arvidsson second. That's give, a bit of substance and credit and weight behind just how good that lap was from Utortas. Olsen behind them as well. I mean, wow. Teboiva only good enough for 11th early on, 1.8 seconds off the road, but under a 10th covering our top 3.
And slight wildcard as well for this round, contradicting what we were saying earlier on, but Oscar Pike is around tonight. So he had a kart race, I think, earlier on today, but I guess he got back in time because he joined the session about 5 minutes ago. So Oscar will be a danger. However, he's got a pit lane starter, so he won't be at the front.
Is this tactical, son? Come in, pit lane start done, at least you can start from the front next week.
I mean, it's worth him, going out there and completing the race and bagging some points, because in the end he's got 0 points. So even if he's 2 seconds a lap off the pace, he as long as he's safe out there, should be all good. It will certainly help him going into the final round, and maybe us being certain that Drysdale will go into the final round with a points lead may not be the case after all.
It's going to change quite a bit. It's going to be, wow, just even more rookie conundrum to factor in and throw things into the mix and work out just how this one is going to pan out. Luckily as well, next week it's just the single race format, 60 minutes of hardcore action, just to make it life a little bit easier. But there is your man Fellini leading the way, new pole sitter, 158.4, just over a tenth quicker than your tortoise.
Yeah, what's his time in practice? My apologies. Because that'll be the time that he's trying to beat, a 58.1 he was able to do in practice. So he's a little bit off that at the moment, Fulini, so there's time for improvement. Also, the track should be getting faster and faster. It is the land of the rising sun, however, it's very much at the setting sun tonight, because it's going to be pretty much sunset by the end of the race. So track should just get faster and faster. As Paul Lang posted improvement, he's up into 4th.
We can see we've got Florian Renault back with us. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. Always good to have people coming back. Also interested to see how Timmy Nylander runs. Yet to set a time. He's had both his times deleted so far in qualifying. Likewise, other drivers struggling. Panini, he's had both his times deleted so far. Gus Rankin, Trani, Collishaw, Crook, all having track limit excursions. Times being deleted. It just shows what a challenge it is around here at Suzuka. And there's a couple of places, especially through the Degners, that we can easily pick up. I mean, for those corners, Sam, they very much remind me. There's a slightly faster and closer together Lesmos at Monza.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They're very, very similar corners to one another. The double right in the middle of the circuit for both of them. Such a challenging corner, both of them, not to run wide on exit, and like you say, really easy to pick up a 1x. So Anon currently top of the outer jazz. He was very strong at Manucore, was sort of picking his battles, at least from what I saw, to get overtaken eventually in sort of the middle part of the race, but for a while was up in the top 10, and when he was overtaken, he didn't get too obsessive over keeping those places. Instead, he kind of picked his battles. De Voiver eventually beats him to the race win, but still a solid result for Zanon. He's looking strong once again out here. By the way, a few pit lane starts. Gasparini, Ellie, Moya, Gabriele, Pai, Plist, Piazzese, Boutz and Gooch. All starting from the pits. Not all of them are in the session, but when you see a flock of 5 or 6 cars leaving out the pits later on, that'll be why.
Look, nobody. I mean, you said the track should be getting quicker. We're well over halfway through qualifying, 9 minutes out of the 15 available to the drivers. But Sam, I'm not really seeing anyone improving too much out there, and I do wonder whether this must be done and dusted, and in equal terms on top of that.
We sometimes
take a big performance for someone to knock Fellini's time based on how it's gone so far.
I wonder if the track's maybe getting a little bit slower as well. I was saying it was getting faster earlier on, but perhaps the cars pounding around this circuit. We have got over 30 cars entered tonight, about 25 on circuit at the moment, as Lempkins goes to the top of the Amjars. That's an excellent effort there from Peter. With maybe the track might be heating up because of the amount of cars out on circuit, but it is also a long lap. I mean, it does take a while if you go for that extra run. It takes another 2 minutes to get around the circuit, then another 2 to be able to set a time, and with the pressure as well on the tyres, might well be that the drivers just having to do 1 lap, so just a lack of opportunities. And I wonder if we might see a flock of times come in, as a few drivers are now on a fast lap. Arvidsson looking good on this one. He was personal best, Sector 2, Sector 3 and Sector 5. There are 6 sectors now, so.
Onto the brakes.
Oh, he's not done that one.
No.
No. Yeah, he's going back to the pit. So he realised he's got 4.5 minutes to go. To do one lap is 4 minutes. So he should just about be able to get one more attempt in.
It's going to be tight as Martinson, he's got past Dames for 9th. Those two have swapped around. Strani goes 12th there. So Tortoise coming across the line. We're going to see an improvement from
No,
him.
this was just starting a lap for you, Tortoise.
Well spotted there, Sam. Well spotted. I tell you what, I'm fascinated to see how Haradas can get on, because this is a really strong performance, and I'm sure a few of the pros thought there's no Mitchell Drysdale this week. You know, won't have a pro-am just messing, getting involved in our race. Haradas Tortoise picking up the baton from Drysdale, has been carrying it proudly for so long. As Dames, ooh, that's a big improvement from him. He goes 5th, good enough for 3rd row with the grid, and with his sandwiched in between his teammates, Lang 4th and Schwartz in 6th. And that could play quite nicely for Race Anywhere, for where they can use maybe Schwartz as a bit of a rear gunner, fend off everyone from behind, while Lang and Dames go on the attack.
Yeah, strength in numbers is certainly going to be good for Race Anywhere. Danes with a couple of race wins already this season, 3 race wins actually. It's the 2nd most winning driver so far, despite not really being in the championship. They missed round 1, and he's been playing catch up ever since then. I think he actually had a bit of a miserable round 2 as well, so it was pretty much 200 points off the lead immediately. But ever since taking to the series properly, he's been very competitive. Your Tortoise with a decent lap so far. Only one personal best sector. I don't think this is going to be enough for Feeling. You can see it at the bottom there. He's currently lacking maybe about 1/4 of a second or so on the time that he needs in order to get himself into pole position contention. And that didn't look like a perfect chicane. I wonder if he's just lining himself up for one more lap.
Let's find out. That's the time being. Where is your Tortoise going to remain? And that is no improvement from him. He stays 2nd on a 158.55 and just 300ths of a second clear.
Strong lap for Lang at the moment. Sorry to interrupt him, but purple first sector, personal best sector 3, and now he's in traffic. So he hasn't timed that one quite right. And Paul Lang, that could have well been a lap time for him on the front row.
Close but no cigar.
Oh, Lutini!
Oh, where's that come from? Great drive from the Audi of ATK Sim Racing. And then Lang goes 3rd.
Wow. I mean, you got to
Oh.
think he would have been clear. So he lost at least 2 tenths in the second in the last sector.
Got to have been.
So yeah, that was pole position almost certainly. And Timmy Linelander, just going about his own business, it looked like, as denied him that opportunity. I mean, he did probably get a little bit of a toe, but on balance, he must have lost time, I imagine.
Martini, only 300ths of a second though, Sam, off pole. 300ths.
Ooh, Schwartz.
Oh no.
Still in the championship hunt, remember, is Schwartz. If he wins tonight, and when I say win, I mean win both races, he'll pretty much be tied on points with Pi if Pi doesn't have a good time of it, which is very possible with his starting
Which is
position.
crazy in some ways for Schwartz, because I think where we've covered Race Anywhere this season, it's been pretty much Lang. Tricoli goes 3rd. It's about shoving Lang down a place there. But it's sort of been all about Lang, Dames. They've been the enigmatic, the big performers. Put on a bit of a display. Whereas Schwartz has just been quietly going back at the south, to the point of some might even dub him as being the the least, the lesser of the 3 drivers. Having said that, he would let's not forget, this guy's incredibly quick, and he'd smash most of us all out of the park with Schwartz. But he's there, just through that consistency of just, not necessarily being, had lots of airtime, being the most dramatic. Just been there, being solid, chipping away.
Yeah,
Works well for him.
I think there still has been a fair few points as they go through the West layout. A quick rant about iRacing, by the way. iRacing recently made a change where you can get more grid stalls, and yet you can still only get 25 cars, pit stalls at Suzuka West. iRacing, sort it out. It's a fantastic layout. Lets us do 60 car fields on Suzuka West. Way better than Suzuka East, and that's got 60 pit stalls. So, yeah, please fix that.
Hashtag just saying.
Yeah.
Should go through the grid. Fellini, he is on pole. It's an all-Italian front row and top three. Nassini joining the Pro-Am. Great qualifying from him. He starts on the front row with his fellow countryman, Davide Ciccoli. He's got Paul Lang for company with Howard Ashley Tortoise. Another one of the Pro-Ams right up there. He's alongside Isaac Arvidsson. Will Dames and Frederick Schwartz make up an all-race anywhere sim sport row 4 with Tobias Olsson and Mattias Martinsson. An all sim race Sweden in esports row 5 and round out that top 10. Paganini and Bisaglia. It's all about the countries, isn't it? And the sister teammates there making up row 6. Tritrani and Sampson. Lamkins and Thomas Yaz take up to 16th. Then it's Daniel Zanon. He's got Florian Renault for company on row 9 with Paul Collish on Jimmy Bueva running at the top 20 in row 10. Filippo Pachetti and Pedro. Then we've got Dennis Brent and Gus Franken on row 12 of the grid with Timmy Nylander and Christopher Crook. All Swedish street trend sim racing row there with Birimanas and Silver to PSAs there. Of course, having to start from the pits. We're into the pit starters pretty much now. Gasparini and Gabrielli take up to 13th and what would be row 15 with Dirk Bouts, Klist, Engelhardt, Pye and Muir. Running out your 35 car field here from Suzuka. So everyone's taking their place behind the Porsche 911 safety car. We get ready to go racing. We get ready for what is going to be two absolutely epic races, of course, as we mentioned earlier in the build-up. The grid for race 2 is formed up from the results of race 1. However, the top 10 are inverted. They're switched around. So keep an eye out for that all-important, crucial 10th place, currently occupied by Mattias Martinsson, because that is the last chance, well, to get you to be inverted, and also they put you on pole for race 2 as the safety car pulls away.
Can I quickly point out, Tim, none of the top 5 have won a race so far this season.
Ooh, Sam, it's a nice little omen there, isn't there? This has got a little ring to it, hasn't it? It definitely has. As Fellini backs up the pack, he is in control in that DRS Esports Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo. Is everyone gonna? Yeah, they can all combination of side by side and single file, but they get all chance to line back up again. But I tell you what, Fellini not hanging around whatsoever. He didn't wait for Nattini, and he just got away with it straight away as we are green and we are go here from Suzuka. And down to turn 1, we come and there's jostling in the background. The two race anywhere cars of Schwartz. Dames battling it out, but running wide, running incredibly deep. There's Nattini, and after that great start, starting from the front row, he's down to 5th, dropped 3 places. Ciccoli, Lang, and Utortas making their way through. Oh, this is getting a bit messy, bumbling across the grass there. That was, I think that was Utortas over the limit racing. Well, definitely over the curbs he went. Wow, what a start, Sam. What a start.
We've got an issue for Schwartz and Olsen. They must have collided. So Schwartz, championship hopes surely going up in smokes there for Frederick Schwartz. It was a long shot anyway, but he really needed a perfect round, and that has probably ended his chances at the title because he's got a lot of work to do. Olsen and him, however, stay in touch. They have got a little bit of damage as Olsen almost spins off. We have got a spinner in the back. That's Gus Franken for RP Motorsport. He has gone off in the background. But what a shame that the teammates came together. We saw teammates colliding yesterday in the ARL Prototypes Championship in turn 1, and we've seen it again. Ciccoli seemingly sending it on his teammate of Nutini, and Nutini having to go off the circuit in order to avoid him, and was really struggling to get back on. So big shame, and that's really weakened their attack for the front.
Fellini already pulling out an 8/10 of a second advantage out at the front. There's one big gaggle, one big gang right behind him. Ciccoli, Lang, Arvidsson. It's also as well, if he can just tow himself along, he'll definitely come along for the ride. So further down through the field.
Lang's got past your tortoise, by the way, I think. There was a change up there.
Yes, he has. Yeah, they've swapped around for third place. Schwartz has got past Boiver for 16th place. He's on the recovery. There's Schwartz. Olsen still stuck behind Boiver. So he's down in 18th. Wow, Lotofri really starting to pull away. Everyone getting a bit backed up behind your Tortoise right now. As you can see here, Tobias Olsen coming past the Boiver up the inside into turn 1. Doesn't even need to worry about being onto the brakes. That's the move done. He is ahead. Wow. Feels like it's just calmed down temporarily for a second here, Sam.
Yeah, so some big gaps forming. As you're saying, a bit of a queue forming behind your Tortoise, but your Tortoise losing 3 seconds already to Fulini, who has had an absolute clear run of it. Langs, though, looking very quick, only 2/10 behind Chicoli. But it's not totally easy to pass around the circuit. You can be a fair bit faster and struggle to get past. There's not too many obvious places that you can they can overtake. And so, yeah, you just got to pick your moments. In the end, it's very easy to make a mistake around here as well. Easy to go wide at Spoon or run it in deep at the Castillo Triangle. And so you sometimes just have to wait for that error. But you can see behind your Tortoise, Arvidsson not getting close to a move. There's a Puccetti a little bit slow there through the hairpin, having a slight slump.
Just highlight one, 13th place. Lemkins, top of the AM class right now. He's on an absolute cracker. Mr. Boiver is all the way down 18th and some, 3 seconds down the road from him. So Lemkin's really holding his own. And basically, yeah, not far ahead of him. Neither is Yaz that far behind him either. So it's a nice little comfortable pocket. But while it's going on, Tricoli, hold on. That's Lang up the inside. The German is through. And that's the move done. Lamborghini versus Audi with Lambo winning out. Now, for all that's happened, Sam, Fellini has managed to get on up the road. Also, Trani, and Renault's falling right down through the order. What's happened to those two?
Ah, there they are. Well, that's one of them at least, and there's the other. So Renault down 7 places. A few of the guys who start from the pits, Moya, Gasparini, Gabrielli and Clistal making their way past, and Chine looks very much like he's ailing. One thing is just high up as you possibly can in this race to benefit yourself for race 2, but it might be a bit of a dull one for him. Pie's out there, but a long way off the back of the pack at the moment, and yeah, still lapping around there, just trying to pick up some points. Fat Pie's just gone back to the pits, but he served his pit lane start. So even if he retires at this point, you won't have a pit lane start to serve next to him at Sebring. He won't score any points. And it will still be the same point situation as we were talking about earlier on, with Drysdale leading the overall championship by 10 points with 1 round to go, but Pie will be at least fighting on a level playing field.
We are 5 minutes in out of 25 from race 1. Fellini leads from Lang, Chicoli in 3rd, it's Arvidsson. The Tortoise, he's 5th, leader in Pro-Am, Dame 6th, Natini, after that great start, the great qualifying. Fallen down to 7th. He's down 5 places. Still second in Pro-Am. Martinson 8th. Panini, he's 9th. And running out your podium in Pro-Am with Sampson running out the top 10. In terms of Am, leader in Am is Lemkins in 12th, with 2nd and 3rd being 16th and 17th overall respectively. That's Jeremy Droiver and Daniel Zanon. Biggest place gainers. Who's made the biggest move so far? Well, Engelhart up 9 places. He did start from the pits and up by a few retirements.
Here we go.
That's your Tortoise. Well, I was about to say losing a place, but Dame's looking confident. Then got held back a little bit. Your Tortoise get it in there. Dames finally gets the move done. Your Tortoise slots straight back in behind him, but needs to be careful because that's Natini right behind him. Is he going to push him? No, he pulls out from the slipstream, looking for a move. Down into turn 1. Can James defend it around the outside? No, his rear end goes. He loses grip and loses places to boot. James down to 9th. And that is Sampson right behind him.
That's such a common mistake here at Suzuka. You can really feel like you can just send it through that turn 1 offline. You think, well, the banking's fairly consistent. But then once you turn into the corner, you realise that it's very different. And he certainly found it right there. As we see a replay of lap 1 with Panini going very wide, and then of course your Tortoise running a little bit wide himself and rejoining, and that caused issues. And then behind this was Olsen colliding with Schwartz. Oh, that was an odd one, wasn't it? It was almost down the straight where maybe Olsen was moving a bit to the left, Schwartz moving a bit to the right, and they pretty much ended in the same place in the end. I mean, you can see it from both perspectives, can't you? From that perspective, it looks like Olsen swings to the left, but actually Olsen is just staying straight, I think, there. So, and that was Charney with his self-mistake. That drops him outside the top 10.
I do have to wonder, though, whether Schwartz maybe got... It was a bit of... Oh, wow, that was close.
Well, he hit
very close. Well, whether there was a bump from behind, because the car seemed to jolt, first of all. Bit of a strange one, really. But, wow, back to live pictures. Back to live pictures, and... sit rep. Fellini still leads. Tortoise just about holding on right now. And it is literally just Nantini being passed by Matthias Martinsen, though. That is going to help your Tortoise out a big deal at this stage of the race, because it's a car between them which provides that nice little mental barrier.
Lemkens. It's off.
What's happened to the Ferrari?
That one seemed to be going on for a while. I saw him drop one place, and it looked like, okay, he's only dropped one place. I mean, he dropped many more, so I guess that is. Backwards? Yeah, I think he may have collided with Schwartz, perhaps. Yeah, I think it was Schwartz who initially got past him. So Boiva now leads in the AMS. Also getting past, we could see some very good drivers at the front. We've got Dame's 3-time race winner, Schwartz, and Olsen, all hovering around that reverse grid spot.
Did you just credit Samson? Bisaglia?
No.
He could do that. You know, he's only 7 tenths behind Samson. He's in with a bit of a shout. This is all going to keep us guessing yet again here on Apex Racing TV. Such a tricky conundrum being played out right now. Lots of little battles, but it's, you know full well, it's all going to come together right at the end for an absolute grandstand finish, and this is only race 1. We've still got another race ahead of us. That'll be half an hour long, as opposed to the 25. The reverse race grid. Just see Samson, who's a bit of a bubble right now, isn't he? He's got a bit of a gap in front of him. It's around about 7 tenths to Dames. Then behind him is by a second is Bisaglia. How does he play this one, Sam? Do you think it's more about just trying to stay on the back of the gate, Dames, just try and get him to tow you along, or does he start worrying about, you know, you mentioned some of those big names that are behind him who are going to be desperate to nick that 10th place off him?
I think he should drive as fast as he possibly can, because I don't think he's necessarily being held up by Dames. And so I think he's pretty much just got to absolutely pelt it around there. As you say, try to stay in the draft of Dames, but I don't think it's necessarily too much of a choice for him right now. I think he's just got to max it out and try to hold on to that place to the end of the race. Not Samson's strongest round, it seems. I mean, he was very good at Brands Hatch, very good at Road Atlanta as well, where he managed to get a P2 in race 1 at Road Atlanta. This time he's a little bit further back, qualified only 14th, but seems very solid out there. Doesn't make too many mistakes, does Samson? And that's a curse if I've ever heard one. Perdrau in 18th position. He's looking to get past Puccetti, but has to run out of space there. And quick shout out to our provider for our overlays, SDK Gaming, providing all these fantastic graphics, so much information you can display, and it's ever so useful with the overrides display. Whatever information you want, for example, this is a heat, and yet I can put at the top that X1. It makes everything so much easier for broadcasting. You could also use it for streaming and as a heads-up display for whilst you're racing as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get yourself a 14-day free trial.
Back into the action. This Pro-Am battle's just starting to meld together. It's getting really interesting. You've got Tortoise fifth, where he started. Nantini, who's dropped 5 places, maybe licking his wounds a little bit. And then we've got Pagini, who's up 3 places into 3rd. That's the person who we ride on board with right now. You can see, well, Nantini, he's from ATK Sim Racing, like Pagini, but it's the sister car, the sister outfit. Olsen's just made it past Thomas Yaz for 13th in the background. Does he make it easy for his teammate?
Well, they weren't making it easier for themselves, were they? Because
Wow,
that's as Martinson got good pace, hasn't he? Always struggles a little bit in qualifying, does Martinson, but generally has much better race pace. And he's managed to get past Tortoise, still top of the Pro-Ams is Tortoise. But yeah, of course, the reason why Nutini's in 7th in the first place is because he was overtaken by Giaccoli on turn 1, lap 1. And was forced wide, so that's part of the reason why he's back there. So I'm not sure if they will be helping each other out too much. By the way, very tight for the lead, 4/10 of a second. So we will keep an eye on if Lang is able to make that move. It looks like he's the fastest driver out there. Yaz just has to back out against Olsen. Olsen should start to pull away a bit. Might be a bit of a dull race for him now.
Just seeing Giuseppe way out at the inside of Clist. Into the Casio Triangle, job done. We're now up at 1 place from where he started.
We'd love to see Moy back for next season. I feel like we haven't seen
No.
a proper challenge from him. I think has had to miss a few rounds, but of course was P3 in the opening round of the season. We really thought, you know, this guy's going to challenge for the championship. Was good at Red Bull Ring. I think he started from the back and then gained like 35 odd places. But yeah, we just haven't seen him consistently enough for him to show his true pace.
We've had a few drivers this season like that, Sam, haven't we? They've been good, but have they, you know, have they maximised their potential within this league? And yeah, like you say, there's numerous names we'd love to see back next season, fighting for the victory in their class, or maybe even overall. You never quite know. Gap between Dames, currently 8th.
Right, Dame's just got past Panini, so Dame's up to 8th position now.
Yeah, 6 tenths already, Sam. That's a big old gap already. That's a big old gap. A gap that's maybe not quite as big. Pichetti trying to defend from Pedro. I was going to say, I was right. They come, I thought they were heading into the Casio Triangle there. Could be a little bit underwears, but interesting about the lifts there, Sam. Some of our drivers are pointing. I know it's not truly a flat-out corner, but maybe a bit too much from Pedro, or saving the tyres.
Yeah, I think a little bit of the turbulent air as well, and the fact that he's got a slipstream, so he's heading into that corner with a few miles an hour extra speed. So yeah, having to get out of the throttle, and of course the curbs, the exit curves around this like are absolutely treacherous. It's one of them where if you dip a wheel onto the curb, if you dip too much onto the curb, you're fine. If you dip not enough, you're fine. But there's just that kind of point where if you hit the curb in a certain way, very much the case at Spoon curve as well, you're going to spin round, and the drivers will have to take that into consideration. Even Dunlop, actually, that they're just going through there. Again, the curbs are so slippery that it can really turn the car very easily. I think race anyway, looking absolutely fantastic in this race. They've only won, well, I say they've won 4 races this season. 3 of them have come for World Games, and of course he has won 2 race 2s so far this season, as he has a look, but not a chance yet. Panini having a bit of an issue, is just dropping back there.
He's dropped about 3 places there, Sam.
Looks like he's disconnected.
Yeah, because he's not showing.
Oh no, he's back.
There we go. He's in and out like a fiddler's elbow, as they say. Look at Pianini. But he is in 9th, up 3 places, so 2 places. Apologies, as Sam mentioned. Looking promising, good. We're right on board with Dames. What can we say about Dames, Sam? I mean, he's just time after time. I mean, Lang's looked good, finding his way past people, but Dames has just been in a different league, hasn't he?
Yeah, that Lang, I feel like has started every race outside the top 30, or has been outside the top 30 after lap 1. And so he has almost certainly passed more drivers than anyone else. But yeah, Dames has sort of maximised those race wins. Plus 2 reverse grid race wins, plus that one at Indianapolis where he took it on the penultimate corner of the race. So, you know, they haven't been comfortable ones for him, but when he has had the lead, as he looks to the inside, that was almost an opportunity for him. Oh, look at the wide line as well for Tortoise. He just about had a big enough gap. But remember, Dames tried to get past Tortoise earlier on. Well, was on the outside going through turn 1, then completely lost grip when he went offline. But not falling it for that time. Giaccoli continuing to be under big pressure from Arvidsson. Really racking up the points later on in the season. Disappointing actually that he made that mistake at Manucourt. He's still got a chance at the championship, does Giaccoli. And if he can get P3 here, maybe a race win in race 2, he could be right in the hunt, but I'm not totally confident about that P3 right now because Arvidsson's all over the back of him.
Oh, he is indeed, Sam. Oh, he is indeed. Some really key battles happening out on track right now. We have got the Yatortus hot nail over 6th place, which pretty much ends at, what, Frederick Alton coming down the thumb. It's crazy, Sam. It's crazy, this. How, you know, we could be so close to one another this amount of time. And there's no let-up between any of them whatsoever.
No, it's great to see. It sort of reminded me. Oh, as Panini. No. Oh, what a disappointing race for Panini. And starts in
the rear window.
He's done well if he's just punched out the rear window.
We'll see how it gets on. I mean, there's no broken rear wing, which you'd think you get. Maybe it's just me. It might be my eyesight, Sam. I am getting old.
Nutini having to go sorts of defensive against him. He's actually got an excellent exit there as Nutini, so he will hold on to that position. Yeah, he's holding on to that position. Of course, that's changed now. He's in 10th place, so Bizalia is up into 10th place, but Friedrich Schwartz is only 0.3 of a second behind him. Olsen's too far behind to catch up, but Schwartz can see a reverse grid pole and a real chance at his second race win of the season if he can make this move, albeit Sampson is only just there. So really, any of these 3 guys could start on reverse grid pole.
Here we go. We are, oh, we've got 18.5 minutes into the 25. Let's take a look at some replays and what's happened so far. So that is Dames losing the rear end. You said, Sam, so easily done, just carrying that bit too much momentum even, and the round comes the rear. We've all done it numerous times.
It was actually fairly late, wasn't it? But yeah, it's just offline there. It's really slippery.
Too much pace into the corner as well, by the looks of things. See this lovely little move by Arvidsson up the inside, job done into Castle Triangle. Thank you very much. I'm off at the road. He is desperately trying to hunt down Tricoli. Tricoli a bit hesitant on the throttle coming through Spoon.
Oh, that was you didn't see too many moves there, but that was a very good one. Thanks.
I think, yeah, real absolute cracking moves from him. We've seen some great overtakes from the Brit. We saw it last season, last week even, wishing away the season. And that's...
he's given.
Yeah, there he goes, back onto the racing line. That is the move done for Isaac Arvidsson, up into 3rd overall on the podium, back where he will feel that he belongs. Job done.
I think that this would be 4 consecutive podiums as well for Arvidsson. Got a 1st and a 3rd at Road Atlanta, 1 at Manucore in dramatic fashion. Lost it on the last lap before regaining it when Drysdale had a very accurate moral compass and decides to let him back past. Schwartz into a reverse grid pole. Friedrich Schwartz up into 10th position. He's past Bizalia. Bizalia not fighting that one too much. You'll know that 10th place is the reverse grid pole position, but I think just realised that Schwartz is going to get past eventually anyway. And well, will Schwartz pass Sampson? I think he'll have to pass Sampson, otherwise Bizalia could come back on him on the last lap. So most likely Sampson or Schwartz will be will be your front row for race 2.
Bold prediction there, Sam. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's Dames. The enigmatic Dames. Closing, chasing, harassing, haranguing yet again, but this time it's all over 7th. Starts Klist.
Defending.
So they got overtaken, didn't they? And just managed to claw it back there and put a break in.
Yeah, Lemkins with that issue earlier. Off the top. Oh, he's trying to get past. Apparently, this next corner is called anti-banked curve. I think everyone just knows it as that corner that Eddie Irvine, like, passed 20 cars on the outside of it, 1997, if I recall correctly. Oh dear. And but apparently it's anti-banked curve. Even though I don't think it's particularly anti-banked, I think it's fairly flat.
Out of the world we live in now, especially COVID-19, should be anti-back curve. There we go. Bad jokes aside, that is Dames through.
I didn't even hear that joke, and I don't want to.
No, don't.
Dames, yeah, getting it back to Nutini, so he's definitely made this one stick now. Of course, he made that move earlier on, then spun it at turn 1, but this time he is clear and might get your Tortoise by the end of this race, but your Tortoise is usually fairly feisty, so I doubt you'll get past us. Lefkins is having a bit of a mare right now trying to get past because he's much faster, but he cannot quite get away past. There's so few kind of safe places that you can make a move here, Suzuka.
Here we go.
Come on, around the outside, flats out at 130R. You always get one of these per meeting. And that's the one. There you go. Lovely stuff.
It's not quite finished though, is it, Sam? But oh wow, hello. That was an opportunistic move. There's Lemkins there. Thank you very much. So Nylander even. So thank you very much. I'll have my way through. Lovely little move.
We're coming close here, guys. Matteo Fulini. I also have really gone through the Apex Racing League GT Championship Season 4, I think it was, when Fulini did, I think, all 12 meetings. And back then, most of the time we had 2 races per meeting. So I think he's done something like 30 meetings in Apex Racing League. And I think it's probably been in the top 5 favourites for every single race win out of those 30, and he's never won one. And here he is, 3.5 tenths of a second ahead with 1 lap to go. He might be finally winning a race, getting a race win.
I don't want to look Sam. I don't want to put the curse of the commentators on him. However, so little left on the clock, you can barely take your eyes off him. We have got 1 minute and 10 seconds left in this race. And onto the brakes. Go Schwartz. Where is Samson through?
Yeah, Schwartz really wasn't fighting that one too hard, was he?
No.
I feel like if that was for 10th place, they'd be fighting a lot more. But Schwartz realised that it's like 2 points extra for P9. He may as well just take the P10. We saw what an advantage Fulini got by starting from pole position, pulling away by about 5 car lengths before they even reached the green flag. So, yeah, take that reverse grid pole. Bizalia isn't close behind. Olsen won't catch in time, so yeah, he's in a great place there as Schwartz. I think he's going to be fighting that one to the end.
On board with Lang right now. Clock ticking down. And by my calculations, Sam, this is white flag lap. The last lap left remaining. Into the hairpin we come. How is Lang going to play this one out? He knows realistically from here there is one opportunity left, one solid opportunity. That is into the Casio triangle. I'm trying to surprise the Italian. But somewhere a little bit cheeky into Spoon. He's a bit too far back here to come onto the brakes. He needs that crucial exit. Heading out of here. Just patiently waiting. It feels like an eternity. A bit of a drift on the exit. That's not going to help him at all. It's going to give Fulini maybe about half a tenth just to scamper away. Oh, Sam's favourite pit lane, the West Circuit layout here at Suzuka.
Your Tortoise has spinned it meanwhile, but well, let's see this man. So many attempts, many attempts,
back, Sam. He's not going to do it.
He is going to finally do it. Maybe with the most deserved victory in ARL. Matteo Fulini.
And what a drive from the Italian. He claims victory here in race 1. Does Fulini. Lang in the end had to settle for second. Isaac Arvidsson, where's he going to cross? Swats and Samson have swapped over. There's Dames trying to get past Latini right at the depth, but I don't think he's going to quite get the run on him, even by Dames' standard. Arvidsson, he is your 3rd place finisher. Latini holds on to 6th, and that win in Pro-Am after starting from the front of the grid with Dames, Swats, Samson, Bizaglia, and your Tortoise running out to your top 11 also. Your podium in Pro-Am. Well, Zanon, Boiver and Crook on your podium, finishing 14th, 16th and 17th respectively. Wow, Sam. Wow.
Yeah, I want to know what happened to your Tortoise. I'm sure we'll get a replay of it soon, but he's not even within the reverse grid. So Bizalia was nice and kind, I don't think he was quite anticipating what was going to happen on that last lap. But yeah, it kind of paid for him to not be so aggressive early on in the race and gets a reverse grid pole anyway. And after me saying, oh, Schwartz isn't going past Sampson, he goes around the outside of him at Cassier Triangle. And it seemed desperate to get that move. So there you go. He will start in P3, sorry, and really no clear favourite. I think had Schwartz got that pole position for race 2, I think he'd be the overwhelming favourite. But as it stands, actually, I think there's a fair few who are all fairly even.
I think so. It's going to be a bit tricky. We'll just waiting for the session to come to an end. We can bring you up with some classified results here from race 1. I mean, race 2, Sam. It's got to be exactly, just copy, paste, done. Although you do have that extra 5 minutes to contend with, which we have seen before. It's caught a few of our drivers out where they just made the car for race 1 just that couple of litres, about a gallon lighter, and it's cost them dearly.
Yeah, this is round 11. You'd think that they'd finally figured that one out. We can hope.
You think?
There is Bellini, half second clear of Lang. Tim pretty much went through the order earlier on with Arvidsson, Tricoli, Matson, Nutini top of the Pro-Ams, Bizalia second place in the Pro-Ams, Tortas third place in the Pro-Ams, Zanon top of the AMS, De Boivo gradually making his way back up, and Christopher Crook as well, because driver who only made his debut for Apex Racing League fairly recently. He was there in third place in the amateur drivers. Yaz and Renault rounding out the top 18, and then the rest of the field going through. I think top of the drivers who started from the pits was Michele Gabrielli. Now, I think Gabrielli might have another pit lane start to serve, so clearly he's really good at these. So I think he needs to think of it positively here and realise that actually it's not so bad, because if anyone's going to be in a position there, he will be in a good position. It's actually, no, he doesn't have a pit lane start to serve. I'm talking gibberish. Yeah, so he will be very strong in that race too. All good for him. All good.
It will be. We're going to get a few highlights now of what happened in race 1. Wow. Here we go. And we'll be back a moment. We're going to take a quick break as well while we're at it. We'll see you shortly on the other side for race 2. Welcome back, and well, the drivers are taking to the grid right now. Just waiting for the last to head up, and we're going to be away. Here they are, Bizzaglia, of course, starting from pole. Samson on the front with him, Schatz, Dames, Martini, Martinson, Chacoli, Arvidsson, Lang, and Fellini. Of course, our top 10 from previous, all inverted. The rest, where they finished them, as Sam mentioned, you taught us missing out bid time there. Had an opportunity to start, well, potentially on pole. He's going to start in 11th. Olsen well down after that issue earlier on. Pye starting from the back, well, from the pit lane. Also out of Lewis was out of place, but I tell you what, Bizzaglia does not hang around. Getting straight onto the low pedal. Samson caught a little bit napping and looking behind towards Samson. He's got Schwartz and Dames all over his rear end, just peeking out there into turn 1. Is everyone going to make it through? This big swooping right-hander can get caught out, as we saw Dames in race 1 just lose that rear end, but no, everyone looks like they've made it relatively calmly and safely through. That is Lang just being forced offline, managed to get back into the trains. That's one of the issues around here. You get off that train, you get off the racing line and get bullied and pushed around. You can lose so many places. Everyone with their highlights on, the sun starting to come down.
Another disappointing start for Nutini, down 2 places. Arvidsson up 2 places. They're the 2 big changes so far in this race start. Really, apart from that, no one changing places. Top 4 all in the same order as they were before. Martinson, in fact, also gained a place. A good start for Sim Race Sweden there to be able to move up into 5th and 6th. So we might see some more moves. Oh, that's Olsen in the background though, so it's not great a start for all the Sim Race Sweden drivers. And also we'll have to get feisty on the base. We've got to go onto the... Oh, we've got a snub there. I think that was De Boyver on the inside. I can spot that.
Collishaw pushed around as well.
And yeah, Collishaw slipping down. So there must have been a slow spin, a car stuck in the middle of the track, and a fair few drivers will have damage now to the end of the race.
Generally just saying, everyone got away relatively well. It's nice and calm, but then all of a sudden it flips on its head in an instant as well. Thomas Brandt, the only BMW in the field, getting ganged up a bit here right now.
Schwartz rounds. Oh man, Frederick Schwartz. Well, he had a great chance at winning at least one of the races at Road Atlanta. Yeah, it'll take a while to get back going there. And he had a great chance of winning this one. Was my favourite for the race win. Not anymore, as they all rushed past. I think one of the drivers pretty much didn't brake for that corner. Did they even make the corner? I think everyone made it. No, one did miss. One did miss. Was that Bouts?
Yeah, Dirk Bouts that was.
Wow, well, the Bouts is on board there. Must have been terrifying.
I'll tell you what, I can hear our producers. They're working on that one in the background. Looking forward to seeing that as we see, wow, battles are plenty. Leah, the Pro-Am still leading 2.5 minutes into the 30 in race 2. Samson, Dames, Martinson, you can see on screen right now, he's got his teammate Arvidsson right behind him, Natini. He's made a bit of progress, hasn't he? He's up into 6th place, Chacoli 7th, Lang, Fellini still down in 9th, Vitor's 10th, and then leader in. And you're looking at Daniel Zanon in 13th place. As mentioned, Olsen still well down. He's all the way down in 17th. Let's climb 6 places. Obviously, largely helped by a few spinners. Piazzese there. He's up 7. Here's the Italian of North Sim Racing. Just having a look to see if anyone's getting more places than the Italian. No, he is your biggest place climber. Crook's currently 2nd in in AM right now in the Audi. You see him there, the Swede, but well, could lose a position overall. That's Giuseppe Muir pushing him wide, and well, the Italian said thank you very much. If you can offer that place so easily, I'll take it from you with glee. And he's through. Bit of time to make up 1.1 seconds. If I run, no,
that's going to be around. Oh, he saved it.
He
saved it. What a miracle. He's added 5 corners here at Suzuka with that slide. Isaac Arvidsson, wow, how is he still in the race? Brilliant save from him. He was over the curb and he's kept in it. Gabrielli has gone off. Oh, that's a shame. Gabrielli gained a lot of places in race 1, but he's crabbing hugely. They hit the wall as Dames has got past Samson. Samson was very close to getting past Bizalia, and I think he maybe just didn't commit to the move, and Dames just went for it, and Dames is probably the favourite right now to get his 3rd Race 2 victory of the season.
Lemkins has just headed to the pits as well, so he's had an issue. Oh, it's all happening, Sam. It's all happening once again as we're right on board with Samson. Dames getting ahead of him, but they're all over the back of Bisaglia. The Italian in the Audi of ATK Sim Racing Black into the 2 Degners. 1. Oh, big clumsy, a bit of a bounce across the curves from Samson there, really unsettling his Lamborghini Huracan. And up the hill to the hairpin. Just tucking in, but you can see that defensive line from Bisaglia. Really just feeling under a lot of pressure right now. And talking about pressure, it's all on nose to tail in the midfield. Everyone within half a tenth of one another, pretty much all the way down to
Tobias, give him space.
Christopher Crook really feeling the same way as you there, Sam. Remonstrating with the flash of the lights. Piazzese giving Clister a bit of a light show there as well, and here's going to be the change to the lead. Dames is on the inside, he's got his nose in halfway along, and he's fully through as Bisaglia looking for the undercut, can't get it done, but Dames is in control now, and Samson trying to get through, but Samson, Martinson, big lunge up the inside there. Bisaglia nearly loses 2 places, he could still lose it as he squeezes the Swede to the inside, but that Porsche is held in for dear life, and Martinson is ahead. Arvidsson's going to follow his teammate through. You bet your bottom dollar he's going to bump draft him all the way down the start-finish straight. Samson heads back through. Bisaglia goes from 1st down to 5th in the space of, 3 corners, Sam?
I think Samson, once again, doing, we didn't see it into turn 1, but I think doing the exact same into turn 1 as he did at the Casio Triangle, where he didn't go for the move on Bizalia, and that just opened up the opportunity for the car directly behind him to go through himself, because if you're the car behind, you've always got to brake that little bit earlier than the car ahead, so you don't drive straight into the back, and you've got to leave a little bit of margin for error. So yeah, just dropping down slightly is David, but Bizalia still top of the Pro as might fall a little bit further, but Dames now 2.3 seconds out ahead, really dominating this race, and Paul Lang's got a fair few cars to overtake. Chicoli might be the next to get past Bizalia, and Bizalia lifting off the throttle. Lang, good car control there, he'll be up to 6th.
Clearly, I think, did it to let his teammate through, but then Lang just saw the opportunity, get his foot pegged, and just squeezed his car through, forced it home. It's a little bit reminiscent of this, Sam, with such a long stream of cars all snaking along, except there's way more action than this.
Yeah, as Arvidsson has got past Martinson.
Ooh.
So as not having a real mare on this lap, so he went off at Degner 2, lost about 3 places, and now he's continuing to lose.
He's just lost 2 places,
so,
1 to Tortoise, 1 to Olsen there.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got some damage, maybe hit the wall on the exit, as there goes Fulini, up to 8th place now is Fulini, a bit under the radar so far, but still on course to score more points than anyone else.
Natini's. Well, Natini and Fulini got past Bisaglia.
Yeah. I think Bizalia is just letting everyone go, that's why he's...
Well, yeah, but there's been a change for the leading Pro-Am in doing so, as Natini's through now. Oh! No. Dirk Bouts again, outbraking himself there. Down into the Casio Triangle.
I remember on, as Olsen might be getting past your Tortoise here, I feel like this could be a battle for like P5, but instead it's a fair bit way down the order. Olsen had a mare of a end of race 1. He started this race 23rd, did Olsen. I knew he lost some places at the end of race 1, but I wonder if he got like a penalty, post-race penalty. He started this one in 23rd. As we'll get a replay of a few incidents from earlier on. It's the only one that I'm looking forward to. But here was the train already getting to single file pretty much right from the start.
They were, weren't they, Sam? As heading down to turn 1. And, do you know, I was amazed the way that they were all coming down there at full chat. That we did not have anyone falling off the track. Everyone made it through. got tight. It got dicey in these opening stages, heading up the through Snake and anti-banked curve. So anti-banked curve. That's a poorly pun I made earlier, though.
There was Olsen going off, and then there was the pile-up ahead. Oh, so it was just a boy who lost it by himself, I think.
Well, I think he's worried about getting into the back of the front of the car in front of him. Checked up, and in doing so just unsettled the rear. It's just seeing it in the live pictures here. Tricoli, he's pushing Samson along, but that's wow, that was bounce.
Oh, Samson's lost it. On live pictures you can see in the bottom there, Samson's lost it.
Let's take a look. So he's lost a lot of places here. Tricoli, Nantini, the two Italians in Audis, they are through of ATK Sim Racing. I need to see that dirt bounce. What again? I mean, how did he thread the needle through that one? I'll never quite know. And Samson trying to reclaim a place, but so he's losing another one. That's Follini heading through.
Had a decent hit as well with whoever we were riding on board with. I think it was Lang, and he got a hit into the corner, so he may well have to merit.
It was Tricoli, wasn't it?
Oh, it could have been Tricoli. You might well be right.
I think Samson, losing that time. And let's just say, Sam, how much damage has he got? Olsen, who's, well, after race 1 has been on recovery drive ever since pretty much about the start of then. It's up 9 places, and that is Florian Renault, well, not making his life very comfortable, and the Swede tactfully just moved him around there to get past. Bit of a drift on the exit out of Degna 2, off up the road he goes. But look at this, the Frenchman fights back, and Renault will not let this go whatsoever. And that's just backing them up, because Harald Ashitortes, he's coming to join this party, and unless Olsen can get away here through Spoon, this is going to turn quickly into a bit of a scrappy freeway fight, Sam.
Yeah, these are all competitive drivers currently fighting this one. Oh, so your Tortoise runs wide in the background. What a frustrating that it is for Olsen. He's always similar pace to Arvidsson, and Arvidsson might well win this race too. And meanwhile, Olsen has just been overtaking cars after that just incident right at the start. I think he collided with Schwartz, didn't he, on lap 1 of race 1. And since then, it's just been constantly playing catch up.
Let's not forget their teammate Martinson as well. He's currently up in 3rd overall right now, Sam.
So Arvidsson closing that gap, gained by half a second on that last tour of the circuit, did Arvidsson on Dames. So down to 2¼ seconds now, big gap. There is the Porsche driver. 2-time race winner. This would be his 5th consecutive podium, which I think, considering he went into Red Lantern with about 2 podiums for the entire season, would be an upturn of form. And then you can see the gap. Once he got into clear air, he's been closing in by about half a second a lap.
It's one stat I think we'll have to dig deep into, because I haven't got it to hand, is Apex Racing League highest number of consecutive podium finishes.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be, but wow, Redford, surely, because that string of wins that he's had, he's got to be a really good shout for it. Will Redford?
Boy, Arvidsson last season actually might be a shout. After Okayama, remember he did a bit rubbish in the F3s. That was the spin for Schwartz.
That's the.
And then it was the.
Wow.
So, to be fair, I thought he was put off by Schwartz, but actually I think he was just put off by all the cars on his left. And then that was the save from Arvidsson. Wow, and he ended up in the racing line.
That looks really undramatic from a helicopter view.
It felt like it was going in slow motion, like, didn't it? It looked like he had about 10 turns. That looks about 3.
Oh yeah. It was just another average save, and a bit of that's Olsen making progress there, I believe, and squeezing his way through, and yeah, that's where we're going to see a bit of the flash of the lights. There we go. He's looking down from above. This is the change for the lead, with Dames getting through. Up the inside, into 130R, thank you very much. It didn't go well for Bizzaglia, because look, Samson, you called it right there, Sam, just got tucked in behind him, and in doing so, lost 2 places. So both the Sim Race Sweden guys, Arvidsson and Martinson, got really ganged up on there by just not being that bit confident, being the nice guy, cost him dearly. You see there, just bump drafting what they're on another in those two Porsches.
And there's Samson's spin. Yeah, so I was saying earlier on how the curbs are quite iffy, but he was actually settled on that curb and then almost just driving down a straight, basically, and he lost it. And then that was, yeah, Chicoli with a bit of a slam on the nose. I was just seeing live as well, your toss game past Rene, and hey, that was the mistake for Schwartz, spinning around at the spoon.
Well, Sam, it's sort of similar-ish. And this is Dirk Bouts 2.0, and I don't know if that's more dramatic than the 1.0.
I think that was the first one, wasn't it?
No, he did it twice. No, he did it. Yeah, he did it twice.
Wow.
Reactions like a cat.
Oh, Perdue off the circuits. You taught us, by the way, he made that move stick because it was off the circuit half the time. Yeah, he was able to make that move stick, so he is up place. Actually, where did Renault end up? Oh, Renault's in the pits. Okay, something's happened to Renault. And he was passing with your tortoise. We saw it on live pictures. Yeah, they must collide because it did get quite feisty between the pair of them. Here comes Olsen making another place. He's up to 12th. Maybe he got up to 11th at one point. No, 12th. Sorry, this is as high as he's been since the first corner of race 1.
As you say, it's a crying shame, really. It's taken him 2 races to get back to this. Well, because it's pretty much it's near the start of race 1. It's taken him nearly 2 races to get back up to this stage. Crazy times.
Bullini with the fastest lap of the race, by the way. Let's just go to Silverstone all the time. And Matteo Bullini can win championships. He's up to 7. He might get Nutini and Chicoli by the end of this one. Arvidsson in the lead. Dames has made a mistake. No.
He's on there he is. He's on the ground. Sam, that's turn 1.
Yeah, again. Remember he went off there earlier on.
Oh, this is how far he's dropped. That's Olsen. He's come out in front of. It's all gone wrong for Dames in a dramatic fashion. It was a comfortable lead, Sam. He had about 2 seconds clear of everyone else. So whether he's got spooked by a back marker, maybe? No,
I think it must have been a surf mistake because he was having to push hard in order to keep Arvidsson behind. Arvidsson was closing that gap. It was coming down slowly, but by about quarter of a second per lap. And eventually that pressure told. And now Martinsson should be able to help out his teammate Arvidsson to the line. We could see our first 1-2 since the opening round of the championship when this man won in front of his teammate Friedrich Schwartz. However, Lang looks very quick as he was in race 1, and Martinsson really needs to hold up Lang as long as he possibly can in order to help Arvidsson take his 3rd race win of the season.
Let's take a little look at the replay of what happened to Dame Sam.
It seems to do a whole lot wrong.
No.
Oh, he takes out his teammate as well. Good avoidance there from Lang.
I mean, strange one really that Lang nearly collects him because surely, they're going to be in voice comms together. He would have told him. Oh no, he would have heard the anguish of, insert beep here. I've spun. Or maybe just like our producers just said, no, yeah, he was too busy saving him. That's why he didn't communicate. But
yeah, and often in that scenario as well, when you kind of stop on that part of the circuit, it looks like you're more on the edge of the circuit than you actually are, at least in my experience. So, he's probably got about a metre to the curve there, but from on board it probably looks like he's almost on the curve. And so he's just thinking, let's get off the track immediately because I'm already there, when actually he's putting himself into a very precarious position. But yeah, good avoidance from the other drivers. Good that no one tried to go underneath him. So yeah, it changes things up slightly. Bullini going for the move into Dunlop. It's so satisfying when you can pull off a move there, but it's very high risk. I feel like it's only a matter of time till he gets past Nutini. Bullini always a very passive driver so far this season. Doesn't get himself into really any wheel-to-wheel crashes, but he needs to show that bike right now, and it looks like he is.
Lovely pictures we're seeing here, just looking backwards from the Tini. Fellini Sampson still recovering, really. It's closing in ever so slightly. He's still got time on his side. So we're approaching 2/3 race distance, nearly up to 20 minutes out of 30. Arvidsson leads, Martinson second, so 1-2 for SimRace Sweden in esports. Lang third, flying the flag for Race Anywhere. Tricoli fourth. Nantini fifth, your leader in Pro-Am. There's Fellini, Sampson, Bisaglia and Perugini are 8th and 9th respectively, 2nd and 3rd in Pro-Am, with Giuseppe Muir running out top 10. Well, leader for so long in the race. Dames, he's down to 11th with Olsen. Far behind him in 12th. Then Pichetti, Sortus, De Bruyve is your leader in that is Dames, but that's a place game back inside the top 10. We're getting, I don't know how to use that. That looked like he was getting pushed and a bit of nudged there by Olsen, as if to say, come on, get on the front, we need to go. Oh,
he's got no straight line speed. Why is Dames so slow down the straights? It's almost as though he's got damage on that car.
Has he got slow down?
Absolutely nothing down the straights. And yeah, there goes 2 cars. Oh, and now there's further contact as well. This one's going to get very personal. Moyer's not going to let Dames pass if he can possibly help it. Olsen goes through, gains 2 places, and yeah, it might be worth keeping an eye on this one, because I think if anyone's going to have a crash, it's going to be these two. I don't think they're happy with one another.
Normally,
slide.
This is tricky, isn't it? You can sometimes get away with it, just like we've seen where just get away with it there, but due to the nature of the circuit, you can't get the car. Yeah, if you're the car follower, you can't get them, back into line and following correctly with enough time. So they head out of Degner 2, and the Lambo looks so much more composed compared to the Porsche. Porsche practically drifts out of the corner, whereas the Lamborghini is just so much more flatter and stable.
Yeah, I think it's overheated his tyres as well as more, so sliding into a fair few corners needs to be very smooth for the next lap or so in order to cool those tyres down. Quick shout out, by the way, to Virtual Racing School. Oh no, Arvidsson has lost it. Has he lost it at Spoon? It's the common mistake. I bet you he's gone wide the first part of Spoon. He's hit the curb in a certain angle and lost the car. Martinson leads and is on course for his first race win of the season if he can hold off Paul Lang, but Arvidsson, who has been the man in form for the past 2.5 meetings, drops to 9th.
What is going on, Sam? So we hit the quarter of an hour mark, and that just started, effectively everyone, you hold the lap, lead for a lap or two, and that's it, you fall off the track. For unforced errors as well.
And now Lang is very close to Martinson. Gets first race win since the opening round. Still got a chance as well at the championship, does Lang. I know I've said that about a fair few drivers, but there is literally just like a bunch of drivers who are pretty much all even on points, who need a spectacular end to the season in order to win the title. And here it was, yeah, he's just hit the curb in a certain way. It wasn't necessarily actually mounting onto the curb, it was actually dismounting the curb the way that he did. Turning and braking, unsettling the car, and that's why he lost it. Shame, because I think he pretty much had that one in the bag. He was maintaining the gap at about 1.5 seconds.
Bellini not impressed with Arvidsson's passing technique there. He's a man in a hurry where he's trying to recover and get as many places back as he possibly can. But Martinson, his teammate, our leader at the moment, we look back from him, and that is Lang, looming large in his rearview mirror. 4 tenths is the gap between them as they come through the hairpin. These two start battling. The Audi of Tricoli will be up with them. 3 different manufacturers on the podium overall. Porsche, Lamborghini and Audi. I think Lang's just going to bide his time with this one. Just toy with Martinson and then go for a pounce right at the end.
I think he may have been toying so far, and now this might be pounce time. And take the lead time as well. Because the gap is now 2 tenths to a second. He won't be able to get past into 130R. He might be in a great position for Cassio Triangle. He lifts out of it. Here he goes. But looking very confident there. It was Lang. Arvidsson has to go defensive. And in fact, he's just going to send it right around the outside. He'll have the inside for the next part of the corner. Are they going to leave space for one another? Lang is very generous. And it's a better exit there for Arvidsson. However, he makes a slight spin. It's a Martinson, apologies. And now Lang has got the slight overspeed there. door-to-door contact down the straight, and edging ahead is the Race Anywhere Motorsport driver. But Martinson with the better straight line speed. He has the inside for turn 1. Can Lang hold on to the corner, unlike his teammate Dames was unable to do earlier on in the race? He was able to, but he wasn't able to take the position, and Martinson still leads this race.
Fascinating scenes being played out here in Japan. For our viewing pleasure, is Arvidsson now up onto the back of Bisaglia. It's for 7th place. How many more places can he climb potentially? A little bit surprised he didn't bring his teammate Olsen along for the ride. We're talking their teammate Martinson still holding the way, but it's down to 2/10. In fact, he even dipped under briefly there. Through Degner 1, through Degner 2. Again, this Lamborghini seeming so much more compared to the Porsches. Through the hairpin. He's nudging. There's Arvidsson's somewhere. He's got past Bisaglia.
Yeah, odd place to do it. Zarya fairly generous though so far in this race when it comes to being overtaken. Shout out to Virtual Racing School. Nearly managed to say it earlier on before Arvidsson spun around. But set up some data packs supply for 50 plus cars on iRacing, and also a supplier of a fantastic range of sim racing equipment as well, wheelbases, their new wheel rim coming out as well, and also their pedals as well. So do check out Virtual Racing School or apexracingsim.com in order to get yourself a set of any of that hardware. Martinson's going to have to go defensive again now. Lang this time he's going to try to go for the cutback. He wasn't quite as far alongside. He's lining this one up nicely, but I think Martinson's got better straight line speed, so Lang's got a lot on his plate.
Charlie's had a bit of an instance on the track. Here we go. Is this going to be the move into turn 1 in the slipstream? Locked in, locked on is Lang. He's shown the outside by Martinson, and well, Lang unable to get the car due to the nature of turn 1 here at Suzuka. Can't hook the car up to get the switchback and has to settle for second. Bides his time up the hill, and well, oddly, Porsche's always known for being a bit of a driver. It's hard the 911, you know, and being able to manoeuvre it and through the twisty parts. Always a stronger part of the car, but it's the Lamborghini that looks stronger through here, so it's more composed. Certainly coming out of, you know, Degner's as well.
Yeah, I wonder if actually his best chance, or maybe probably not his best chance. His best chance is going to be into 130R or turn 1 inevitably, but there might be an opportunity at like a surprise me, because it is through the corners that he's faster. Maybe into the hairpin. Problem is you don't know where Martinson's going to break. There you go. Martinson broke basically on the inside of the circuit. There's a bump between the two, then that's going to help along Martinson. Helps him with his acceleration. Might pick a few instant points up, but they're limited to 20, so they shouldn't be pushing that. And Tricoli, of course, gets in closer, but not going to get close enough. It will be very close whether or not that we get 2 more laps in here, or 1 more lap as we got De Boiver into the wall. PSAC takes the lead out of the amateur drivers, and De Boiver, after her a terrific round of fun, that's probably the first mistake we've seen from him in about 2 months.
And that drops him to 3rd in class, as well as losing about, what, 4 places overall right now. As we see, Giuseppe Moya, he's got, well, sorry, Martinson with Lang even.
Gonna be the final lap.
It is Sam, isn't it? Well spotted, and is this going to be the defence? Yes, it is. Matthias Martinson holds on. He holds that inside line. That's where the power move seems to be. Lang knows he's got 1 set of opportunities. White flag in the air. 1 lap left to go. 1 last set of opportunities for Lang to progress past Martinson. Is he going to do it around the outside into turn 1? He gives it a go. He's holding on, but he's not going to be able to hang in there, because sneaking through the inside, Matthias Martinson is desperate to claim hold of this. Wow, Sam. He can settle down a bit here, can't he? Just up the hill. He knows that Lang can't really pass. He's just half a lap away from doing so, as Arvidsson now up onto the back of Samson in these closing stages. Thomas Yaz trying to get past Yatortas here. Can't get the move done. Needs to be on the inside, as Arvidsson's managed to get past Samson. Has he? Yes, he has. Arvidsson's been electric for there.
Mistake for Lang. Mistake for Lang. He's off.
Oh, no, it's all gone wrong for Lang at these closing stages. Oh, and he's falling right down through the order. He's going to come out in front of his teammate Dames. No, Dames is in front of him on what could have been a race anywhere double podium. Ends up being nothing for them.
Oh, no, and Moyes just killed a man. Dames. And Moyes had enough as well. He may have been... I don't know, well, he just escaped back. He wouldn't have been disqualified. He escaped back. Martinsson has an easy run at this. Now, Martinsson won, I believe, 1 or 2 heats in the F3 Championship last season, but it's a bit of an iffy one. It's like of winning in an F1 sprint race, whether or not it counts as a proper race win. This is going to be a proper race win, and it's going to be very well deserved. It'll be his first race win of the season, Sim Race Sweden's first race win, also the first team to have all 3 of their drivers win a race. Epic stuff. Very well deserved for Mattis Martinsson. Here he comes.
Here he comes. Just needs to get the car through cleanly. And Triccoli only going to finish 7 tenths behind them, but well, first victory of the season. Matthias Martinsson here as the sun comes down in the shadow of the Ferris wheel. The Swede has done it. Triccoli third, Fellini third. Was that Olsen? Did he get
Sampson? Yeah, I think Sampson had a slowdown to serve because he dropped some places right at the end to Sampson. It might be worth keeping an eye on the results actually, because I'm not sure if he served it all in time, considering that Olsen gave him a big old shove to the line right there. Puccetti, has he run out of fuel? No, he's got a slowdown as well. Everyone's staying to a halt. Piazzese wins in the AMS. Crook in second place. I think Crook the highest scorer out of the AMS tonight. And Gasparini, after serving a pit lane start in race 1 and a problem actually had in race 2 as well, finishes on the podium in that category. But yeah, well done to Mattis Martinsson, top 4 in that race. Hadn't won a race going into this round of the championship, but Fulini, a winner. I think Fellini might be up into second place in the championship actually after this. I'll probably upload the results. And yeah, Martinsson with that first race win of the season. And it's been a bit of a rough season honestly for him, Tim. So it's nice to see the guy up there, because he's left a little bit to his teams, particularly Manu Core. He was a fair bit off, but tonight was probably his best performance of the season.
I mean, it's a lot to take in coming away from Suzuka. Wow, I mean, well, we're just waiting for everyone to sort of finish crossing the line. Some big performance, some big amount of drama, to say the least. It was like we said about it during the race, Sam. It's like people just didn't want to win at times. We went through that period where, you know, leaders just falling off the track, falling by the wayside. In the end, Matthias Martinsson has come home with a victory here at Suzuka. Wow, emphatic style in the end. He had to do, well, it wasn't quite as easy as... Any ideas on the championship? I see you in the background here, clicking away like...
Yeah, I'm trying to get the points up, but unfortunately not everyone's crossed the line yet, so...
Who are we waiting?
Mindaugas Bremanas has now crossed the line, so we'll try to get those points up for you, but in the meantime, here are the results.
There we go, Matthias Martinsson, as we mentioned, your winner here today in race 2 from Suzuka, round 11 of the championship. Triccoli in the end finishes second, with Fellini in third. Dettini nearly made it another Pro-Am onto the podium this season overall, but in the end has to settle for fourth but wins his class. Isaac Arvidsson in the end from leading, recovering back up to fifth. That was a great drive. He was driving in real anger towards the end with emphatic results. Baziglia and Panini are 6th and 7th, and 2nd and 3rd in class overall. Tobias Olsen finishes 8th, with Sampson in the end just dropping those places. And actually, yeah, I think, Sam, you're just having a little question. No, it wasn't an additional time penalty, so he just finished 9th, with Lang in the end 10th. Dames 11th. Disappointments for the 2 Race Anywhere SimSport drivers. Piazzese wins in AM, with Crook 2nd in class, 2nd and 13th overall for those 2. With Torsus and Yaz 14th and 15th. Gasparini rounds out your podium and in 16th. Then Puccetti Swart comes home in 18th place, with 19th being Klist. De Bruyve, well, he's been in emphatic form, but in the end, not even good enough for the podium in class. But ends up finishing 20th overall. Trani 21st. Collishaw and Gabrielli. Dirk Bouts, well, he had a couple of wild rides coming into the Casio Triangle. In the end, finishes 24th. Biramanas, the last car crossed the line And then into the laps, 1 lap down cars. Muir, Pedro, Franken, Burnt. 2 laps down were Engelhardt. Zanon was 5 laps down in 31st. Renault and Timmy Nylander, both 8 laps down. With Lemkins 14 laps down. And Pi did not make the start. Right, we're going to have a look at some highlights while myself and Sam head back to the studios and we'll catch up with a few other drivers. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back, and wow, what a race that was, especially race 2, Sam. It had everything in there, didn't it? And yet again, we saw a race where it felt like nobody wants to lead this. The leaders ended up falling off. We had what? Dames, we had Lang all falling off. Bizaglia, although he, up high very early on, moved out and through the order. I mean, what have we just witnessed yet again here?
Yeah, I mean, the Dames one was very understandable because Arvidsson was chasing him down. He was closing in by about quarter of a second lap, so he was having to push 100%, albeit even then the incident was slightly unusual, sort of about mid-corner through the second part of turn 1. But then, yeah, that Arvidsson one, he was comfortably out in there. I think that was just the one that we were seeing on the screens. Comfortably in the lead, had his teammate behind him. Lang didn't seem to have the pace to be able to catch up to him, and yeah, just a self-mistake at Spoon Curve, such a common one, but really cost him. And then of course that late instant for Lang, costing him a few important championship points, because we can say, going into the final round of the championship, Mitchell Drysdale is going to have 958 points. Oscar Pai going to have 949. Neither of them were around tonight. Neither of them scored any points tonight. Then it will be Tricoli.
But worth mentioning for Drysdale, because he wasn't around tonight, that now becomes one of his drop scores, which actually means, so for not showing up, he's actually now gained 70 points versus the start of the evening.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was his previous lowest score. So that's why those two have switched around despite not seeing them tonight.
Exactly, yeah, and then Tricoli will be on 925, so that's 33 points off the championship lead. And Matteo Fulini, getting his first ever Apex Racing League race win tonight, he will be on 921, so we'll have 37 points to gain on Drysdale. So a little bit of a long shot, I think, honestly, for Tricoli and Fulini in order to make up those points. But Drysdale and Pai, whilst it's not really in the same championship, come on, it would still be awesome if Drysdale could win the overall championship, beat all the pros. I think it will mainly be between those two, Drysdale and Pai. Pai no longer with a pit lane start to serve as well, so it'll be a straight fight, see who can take the title.
Sam, we're now 11 rounds in. And if, you know, when we first sat down on these sofas at the start of the season and we were making our little predictions, I think if either one of us had said there'll be a Pro-Am leading the overall championship going into the final round at Sebring, I think we'd have called the other one an idiot and just laughed at them. Here we are in that very position, and I mean it's advantage him. What is he, 8 points ahead?
9 points ahead.
There we go.
But if Pi wins, because it's the 60-minute race, if Pi wins, he's guaranteed to beat Drysdale. And when Oscar Pi hasn't had issues, when he hasn't been hitting curbs and flipping over, or
Indianapolis, yes,
or having kart races, he has genuinely been winning. So he will be the favourite undoubtedly. But nice that it's going down to the wire. Would be good to have a chat with a few of the drivers. I think already we have got Matthias Martinsson. Would you like to have a chat with him?
I would love to have a chat with Matthias Martinsson. Matthias, congratulations, first win of the season. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? And I know luck was a little bit on your side there, but I mean, did you think you'd have a chance to the win, or did you know, knowing this league, that anything could happen potentially?
Well, considering last week's performance, I didn't even think I would get top 10, so... but I know I was better on this track, and thanks to the owner of Simray Sweden, he helped me a lot this week as well, with getting pace and talking me through every corner and how Isaac did it and how I did it, and just improving. Bit by bit. And talk about... talk to us about the grip levels out there. The Porsche seemed to be really struggling for traction and looks really slippery compared to the Lamborghinis that were far more composed. Was that something you were feeling in the car, or was it something maybe you built into the car? To be honest, I didn't try any of the other cars, but maybe it was a bit more slippery. But also I built the car to be quick in the SS, because I tried one car with understeer there, and one car with more pointy setup that I made, and I didn't have the patience to drive with the understeer, so I stuck with the oversteered one, and that helped, I think.
Definitely. And well, after this great result, Sebring next week, another victory potentially, podium.
One might hope.
Well, we hope for you as well. It'll definitely be brilliant to see. Congratulations, Mads Martinsson, picking up your first victory of the season for Simray Sweden Esport in the Porsche 911 GT3. I think that's someone who's very much deserved a victory, Sam.
Yeah,
definitely.
Of course, came closer a few times in the F3 Championship as well, but just had Arvidsson and Olsen constantly, his teammates, being there or thereabouts, so he had to beat them in order to win a race. And Arvidsson and Olsen, of course, are terrific drivers, along with several others, of course, in that championship as well. So, a long time coming is that race win, and good to see that, because I think honestly, Manucore may have been, like you mentioned it there, quite a confidence hit for him. You know, I think he finished 40 seconds off Isaac, and you know, he sees Isaac, rightly so, as a guy he can beat on pure pace. And so tonight, to get that race win, you know, he was maintaining pace with Isaac. You know, Isaac was not getting away from him, and that's part of the reason why Isaac made the mistake, that Matthias was staying within 1.5 seconds of him. So yeah, extremely well served. And of course, well done to Simray Sweden. They're not going to win the title in the teams, but all three of their drivers have won a race this season. That is a very rare feat to achieve.
It is, but that's the thing. They could have really improved in the teams championships, because Olsen, you know, this is the trouble with the two-race format, because it's either boom or bust, isn't it? Because you can either, if you have an appalling race one, then you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, but at least you do have that bit of a reset where obviously, you know, race two's coming, you grid up in your results, so that compacts all the field back up together again. So it gives you a bit of a chance, but he was fighting an uphill battle from an early start. But Arvidsson could have made it that double podium for Simray Sweden, which would have obviously helped them in that team's championship and maybe elevated them up a place or two. Yeah, I think they might be up into third anyway, but yeah, going into Sebring, they might still stand a chance at second. And yeah, just a word on Olsen, that the end of, it was the start and the end of race one, where he dropped 15 places or 10 places at the start of race one, and then at the end of race one he dropped
another like 15 places, 10-15 places, so then had to do all the work again in race 2, so that was really frustrating for him. But yeah, they'll be strong, and yeah, if you're, it's a very strong field coming to the end of the season. I think a few drivers have improved, like I think Chicoli, for example, I think it's just got better and better. So if you're Oscar Pai looking to get that race win at the end of the season to confirm your title, you're going to have strong opposition, because Fulini, definitely the best pace he's had all season, Martinson with the best pace he's had this season, Arvidsson and Olsen have just been getting faster since they've moved to the Porsche, and yeah, the likes of Chicoli and even the ATK drivers have been very strong.
Lang and Dames.
Yeah, they've always been strong.
They've always been strong. I mean, the thing is with those two, though, is they've always got a mistake in them. I mean, Schwartz isn't far behind them either, the out-and-out pace, but, I mean, yeah, again, we saw, well, Lang and Dames both throw it away on separate occasions tonight.
Yeah, and of course Schwartz had that incident with Olsen as well on in race 1 as well.
Yes.
I don't know whose fault that was necessarily, but yeah, it just seems like all three of them. Well, so I'd say certainly Lang and Schwartz, yeah, constantly getting involved in those incidents. But you know, you can have an unlucky season sometimes, and the next season you can have it completely clean throughout. So it's just how the ball rolls on occasion. But yeah, they're still going to win the team's championship, so it's not exactly a bad campaign for them.
No, can't really argue with that one too much. But I mean, other than those moments, for me, like real, you know, we saw plenty of them, as you're seeing many spins. But that's the Arvidsson one we had earlier on. I mean, getting from through Spoon. Any other standout moments for you from here tonight?
I think the send through from Bouts.
Yes.
At the final.
Well, which one? There was two of them, which pretty much identical.
The first one in particular was a miracle, because we were so much paying attention to Schwartz making a rejoin that was never going to work, just, you know, gradually peeking out his nose onto the circuit, and then all of a sudden we see Bouts just slide past 6 drivers and doing a brilliant job at just applying enough brakes so that he finds a gap basically in the cars. And then of course it happened like 4 laps later as well.
I know.
So he, the first one yeah, was mad, and then the second one bundled over the gravel. So it could have been a lot worse, could that one. It's also quite nice to see Suzuka under the lights. We were pushing it a little bit in terms of the abilities of the headlights at the end there, but yeah, just about enough lights as well for the drivers to navigate their way.
You've got the picturesque lights coming from the carousel as well.
Yeah,
or
it's very picturesque. It is about 12 years old, that scan, but I wouldn't mind going maybe a graphics update. The track hasn't changed for 50 years, but a graphics update would be nice.
Yeah, it would be just a few tweaks here and there, wouldn't go amiss. But looking ahead to next week, Sebring final predictions.
Well, I think Oscar Pai will win it. I think last season we had Christophe Herbigny being caught all the way to the finale, and then he put in a stellar pole position lap over Niels Erik Isaacson, was able to get pole position and able to win the race as well. I think Pai is going to do the same. I think this is going to be a champions drive from Pai. He's going to put behind what's happened in the last 3 rounds and be able to get that pole position and lead start to finish, and take a well-deserved trophy. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, Sam, I think it's just going to be calm, and then it's just going to get a bit, be a bit of battle at the start. It'll die off. Mid-race, around the pit stop, there'll be a bit of jostling, you know, people low fuel, trying to make a bit of progress, maybe a few fuel saving in amongst it. I think the last 10 minutes, I think someone's just going to go, there'll be 3 or 4 of them near the front, one of them will light a match, and it'll just start off this big fire, and there'll be drama, excitement, frills and spills. You watch, it'll be a shocking race now. But no, I just get the feeling that they're all evenly matched. There's so many of them that can win on their day, as is shown, you know, you were saying earlier in the show, where there's been so many of them that have won this season. I just get the feeling it's going to be far closer, and I think you alluded to earlier, Oscar Pai is not going to have an easy victory compared to what he had at, but look at Red Bull Ring. And a very long time ago, months in fact ago now, but he just got out in front and that was it. We didn't see him all evening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see if he can deliver on that one. It'll be a nice little prep as well for the 12 hours.
Yeah, it's coming up
in real life, which I think might be next weekend, or it's the weekend after. I think it's the weekend after. I think that's why we scheduled it.
Yes.
Because unfortunately,
yes.
of course, we can't. iRacing aren't hosting the Sebring 12 hours during week 13. Otherwise, it would be next week. But instead, of course, week 13, there could be some glitches or something, which never happens in iRacing special events. And so that's been delayed by about 3 weeks. So it's during the regular season.
But anyway, either way, a good bit of prep for it. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier in the show, Porsche Cup coming up very soon. How do I sign up for it?
ApexRacingLeague.com. You can also sign up for the Apex Racing Academy Formula 4 Championship. Starts tomorrow.
We'll be covering that one. Can't keep us apart, can they?
Are you doing that one?
I'm doing F4 with you. We'll start off the season.
Didn't even know that. Oh, and then we've got Sunday as well.
We have, yes. 4 hours, yes, of CMS.
Yeah,
together.
check out that one.
Yeah, definitely. Plenty going on the channel.
Yeah.
Just can't keep us apart, Sam. Stick glued together. But no, thanks very much for joining us. And well, it's been drama filled from the very start. 2 races of excitement, unpredictability, but should we really expect any less? It's only been like that all season long. Well, can Sebring in a week's time live up to it? Well, find out very shortly. We will see you then. I've been Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick, and we'll see you in a week's time from sunny in America.